Hello and welcome to the Punk Wrestling Podcast. Once again, I am RM Punk and today we are talking Smackdown. Right off the bat, it was a very breezy show. It was easy to watch, easy on your eyes, shall we say. Nothing absolutely crazy. We got the return of Seth Rollins, the Elimination Chamber matches taking shape on the Smackdown brand. There wasn't any major surprises. There wasn't anything, whoa. There wasn't anything really bad either. It was just a nice little show to watch. The 2 hours went by very quickly. It was good. So let's get into it. We know how SmackDown starts, don't we? Because it's the same every week. Yes, it is. It's Roman Reigns. He comes out. He's not in a very good mood. You get a quick recap of Edge on Raw saying that he's going to see what happens in the chamber before he makes his decision. As Roman's coming down to the ring, you can see that Adam Pearce is in the ring and he has got what would appear to be a contract. He's got the leather binder thing. So we'll see where this one's going. Roman eventually gets in the ring, eventually starts talking because, you know, we've got to drag these things out. What you're standing back there for? Don't be scared. I don't wait on you. You have to wait on me. You're here because of me. Let's talk about Edge. He don't want it. He looked at me and got scared. He knows what I'll do to him if we have a match. And after I'm through with him, he'll have to have a Legends contract. He'll be an ambassador for WWE. Let's not wait on Edge. He's waiting till after Chamber. It's a ploy. It's a game plan. Maybe someone can beat me. And then, yeah. But that isn't happening. I'm not losing. I don't lose. And that's why you're here, isn't it? Elimination Chamber. And Pearce says, yes, this contract says you will defend in the chamber. I've had this contract for a week. Paul knows this, but you've made me do this in the ring. Roman's laughing. He's like, I'll let Paul deal with this one. He talks the contract. His agreement with WWE states that, yes, he has to be at certain shows, and yes, he has to be at Elimination Chamber, and yes, he has to defend his title, but it doesn't say he has to defend it in the Chamber, and he's not going to. Make it a #1 contendership match, and Roman will face the winner right there and then. So we're going to have their pitch in Elimination Chamber. Whoever wins it then gets to face Roman at the end of the night in the main event. And he's like, you don't like this. I can see you don't like this, Pearce. But what are you going to do? Are you going to fire Roman this close to WrestleMania? No. And he says, how'd WrestleMania do last year without Roman? I believe it was the lowest attendance in history. Because 0. But yeah, nice little bit there. So just say it. Announce the match. #1 contender, immediate shot. Pearce gives in, says, okay, qualifying matches, but a couple of people won't need qualifying matches, and they are Jey Uso, and he leaves the ring, and he says, and Kevin Owens. Roman gets in his face, Paul Heyman talks him off, so we've got Kevin Owens, and we've got Jey Uso in the match, so now we need to work out who else is going to be in the match. It was an interesting start to the show. Like the Roman can talk his way out of anything at this point. He's got the power, he's got the leverage. And at some point, this is going to bite him in the arse. But not today. But yeah, he's unhappy that Kevin Owens is in the match. All right, fine. But it's an Elimination Chamber match, and then you're going to face the winner after a Chamber match. So it's all in Roman's favour here. But yeah, we come back from break, and Pearce is on the phone. Bumps into Sonya. Basically, they're like, we've got to hurry. We've got to get the challenge. We've got to get the people in for the chamber. We've got to work out. We've got to do qualifying matches. Da, 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 da. So they've got. This is where I was like, well, they've got to get 4 people. Now, before this, they had already got in their plans that Roman was going to defend the title in the Chamber. So why didn't they have some challenges in mind for that? And then just, then you just need one more person. If you've already got the match sorted out. But no. Sonya suggests that they make, because it's, no friends in the Chamber and all that. But let's maybe make it a tag team. Do a tag team match for a qualifier. Make Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio versus Corbin and Zayn for entry into the Chamber. Pierce is like, yep, like that idea. Sonya's like, yep, already done. Everyone's already been told. Like, she's gone and done it anyway. So, there we go. Usual banter from Sammy to start before the match. There is a screw job. They want, that was it. They put, they want the Mysterios to win for the Latin market. All right, we'll go in there. The match was all right. Dominic hit a mad suicide dive, which looked like his face planted the announce table. But he seemed okay, so he just must have sold it well. There's not a huge amount here. Sammy won clean for her first time, I think, this year or last year, with a hell of a kick on Dominic Mysterio. So you get Sammy and Corbin going to the Chamber match. No surprises there, really. Dom's not in that position, and Ray, you could put Ray in a Chamber match, but he's probably not going to win it. So, no, that's fine. Corbin and Sammy. Next up, you get the Dirty Dogs. They are pitching to Sonya and Pierce that they should be in the Chamber. And Pierce and Sonya are like, what, as a tag team, you're going to have one pod? Maybe we can put some extra holes in. They're like, no, separate, like 2 champs, pod each. They Adam Pearce and Sonya go, well, we did think about that, and your tag match versus Cesaro and Daniel Bryan will be for entry into the Chamber. Straight away, I'm like, don't like this at all, because you know full well that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are not going to be in a #1 contendership Elimination Chamber when you've already got 2 heels they've announced. You need some faces, and Daniel Bryan and Cesaro are not going to lose a match against the Dirty Dogs. However, the Dirty Dogs are the tag team champions and shouldn't be losing straight away. So either way, I wasn't going to be happy. But there we go. We'll get to that one later. A little segment with Reginald. He has his glass of champagne. Comes up to Sasha. Sasha's like, what now? You need to give me some respect. Reggie apologises. Sincerely apologises. Sasha asks if she meant what he said when he said that I could beat Belair. You get that little flirty tone again. I had to watch this back on YouTube because it didn't actually play when I watched it on BT Sport. But yeah, he says, no doubt in my mind you could beat Belair. And Sasha says, send Carmella my regards, and takes the glass of champagne. I don't know where this one's going. I assume Reggie will end up being aligned with Sasha for Sasha's eventual heel turn, because Sasha is a heel. Just born and bred. Just makes more sense that way. She doesn't work as a face. So it makes sense. We'll see what goes. Big E is out next. He says that he defended his title last week, and like Tom Brady, after some avocado tequila, against all odds, still standing. He's a fighting champion. He wants to put Apollo and Sammy behind him now. Cue Apollo's music. Yeah, he says, I know you're going to do another open challenge. I accept. And Big E's like, no, we've done this. Like, I've beaten you. You've stepped up, but I've beaten you. You're done. Go to catering, get a paycheck. They get into it without the mics, having a little bit of an argument over that. In the end, he cuts him off, like, no, bring out my next challenger. And out comes Nakamura. So we have Big E versus Nakamura up next for the IC title. All good. Early on, he hits the big splash onto the onto the outside of the ring, the apron splash. Apollo starts causing distractions early on, swaying the momentum back in Nakamura's favour. It was a good match, quite short, bit of back and forth. E goes for a big ending, but Apollo gets involved, drop kicking Big E for the DQ finish. You know, they're not done with the Apollo storyline, but I'm with E on this one. I think E could do with some new challenges. And realistically, I would have liked to see E and Nakamura in the Elimination Chamber match. I think that would have been a nice thing. And I just, are they wasted in this sort of stuff? But yeah, they're carrying on with the Apollo thing. I think Beanie needs to move up on, have a nice reign, and then move up to the main event. Constantly feuding with Apollo Crews isn't going to do that. The feud is great, but it's just, I think he needs more. Next up, we have the return of Seth Rollins, and the whole roster have come out to welcome him. They're lining the ring before his music hits, and burn it down. Yes, he has got his old music back. I'm not a huge fan of the chant of Burn It Down. However, it's a lot better than his last theme, which was basically the same as Bayley's. So, yeah. He's in a leather black and red suit. Interesting look, I must say. He says it's good to be back, feels right, he's where he belongs. He says a lot has changed since I sacrificed myself at Survivor Series. The thing that has changed the most is me. I'm a father now. I'm a parent. I've got a beautiful young baby girl. She has changed me. I've got a new vision. The most talented performers in the history are on SmackDown. Wonders where he fits in. And then he turns, says, I am the great leader that SmackDown needs. It's not what you can do for me, but what I can do for you. The roster start leaving at this point. I can be your leader, your parent, for a better tomorrow, a better SmackDown, Embrace the vision. We cut round, he realises everyone's gone, he looks around the ring, there's one person left, and that is Cesaro. And Cesaro is looking at him, and Seth's like, I knew you would understand. And Cesaro's like, you haven't changed at all, and walks off. Cesaro's walking up the ramp. Rollins hits him with a chop block to the knee, starts beating him down, says, you'll never live up to your potential without me. Daniel Bryan comes out to give the save, and Seth scarpers. I'm happy with him to still be heel. He is better as a heel than a face. I do think they should have changed the entrance music for the Rumble, as that would have been a nice little pop for the Burn It Down to at least think he's going to be back as a face, as the returning baby face. But he's good being a dick. So let's carry on with that, shall we? But yeah, very glad the music has changed back. Much better. And the other plus I had on there that I noticed was that he didn't say the greater good. The greater good. Because I don't know whether that's a plus or minus for you, but for me, it means I don't have to reference Hot Fuzz every single time Seth does a talk. It's nature to say greater good at least twice. Next up, you had Bayley versus Liv Morgan. Morgan gets some early offense. I think whenever she's given a chance in like a high profile match or any match, she always likes to show something new, grow. She's definitely someone that in a year, maybe two, will be sort of leading the division. I think she's put in some great work. There was a scary bump where Liv lawn darts herself off the steps into the barrier. Looks face first, but she's favouring her shoulder. It was, again, just a really well sold spot where I thought, she's injured. But no, she was fine, but she is favouring a shoulder. And Bayley hits a shoulder breaker, and Liv is screaming, proper screaming in pain. You don't get that much. Like, it was a real guttural scream, and it was nice. But Liv hits a nice insecurity and the code breaker for 2 count. Billy comes out at this point, as she would. She's got all her headshots, and she's coming to Ruby, and she's like, I just want to say sorry, I want to apologise. Ruby's like, not now, busy, not now. And she throws the headshots, and some of them go into the ring. The ref is then distracted, like, what are you doing? Trying to get rid of the headshots. Leaving up for Bayley to hit a eye poke and the rose plant for the win. So Billy has cost the Riot Squad another match, accidentally, shall we say. No, it was a good match for what it was. Again, pretty short, but it was enjoyable. There was some good spots in there, and there wasn't too much silly bollocks, even though it did end in silly bollocks. Cesaro cuts a quick promo backstage and interview. Despite that Seth's wasting all our time, he's still ready to book a place in the Elimination Chamber with Daniel Bryan. Thanks Daniel Bryan for having his back earlier. He walks off. Daniel Bryan just says Cesaro is tough. Quick, to the point. I'm happy with that. Next up, we've got the Street Profits versus Otis and Gable. They are up and they want the smoke. That's their segment. Otis and Gable, they've learnt a new move this week to do a discus clothesline. Looks like it's going to be some sort of tag team move, but they've yet to hit it. So we'll see if we can see that tonight. There's some nice fluid wrestling between Gable and Dawkins, which you don't necessarily expect. It is really a wonder they've not done more with Gable. Gable's like, yeah, he could be a big star, like the next angle. Like, I know that is pretty much what he is, but he's just that damn good. I'll be honest, this match was just fun. Like, it looked like all 4 of them were just having a bit of fun. There was some great spots. You know, it just looks like they were having fun. And if you look like you're having fun, other people are going to find it more fun. And that was the case in this match. I just enjoyed it. It was breezy, it was easy, it was cool. Otis hits the Caterpillar. Gable's like, the time is now, get the tag. And they go for this double team move. And they're like, if we hit this, we win. If we hit this, we win. And of course, they don't hit it. Otis ends up getting flung out the ring. And you get the big spine buster from Dawkins and the frog splash from Montez Ford onto Gable for the win. Like I said, nice match. Profits are celebrating as they're walking up the ramp. And it's boss time, as Michael Cole says in a very overreactive way. And Sasha and Street Profits are dancing on the stage. Again, it was just breezy. It was just simple. Sasha says everyone's talking about Belair and her decision, the road to WrestleMania. Addressing Belair, she says she likes her. She's like a big little sister. And there's only one choice for the EST, although she messes it up the first time, but I didn't. Hey, go with me. And that is me. Belair comes out. She's like, you're not the boss of me. Very short between you here. I'm not like most girls. It's Nia and Shayna. They're basically like, who cares? No one gives a fuck. We beat Charlotte and Asuka to become 2-time champs on the same night that you won the Rumble. Why is no one talking about that? Belair and Sasha. Sasha's like, I'd heard you were coming tonight, so I prepared something. And they show Shayna losing to... I forgot who she faced now. Naomi. That was it. I apologise for this. Losing my head there. They cut to that. And they're like, Sasha's like, oh, no, that's not the footage I wanted. And Nia's like, don't you dare. And Belair's like, roll the footage. And we get the My Whole segment once again. The They attack Belair and Sasha, but Sasha and Belair get the upper hand. At one point, they sweep Nia's leg out, so she hits butt first on the apron again, but no repeat of my hole this time, which I was surprised. I was like, oh, is this going to be her new gimmick? But no, she didn't say it. She didn't say it. In the main event, we've got the Dirty Dogs, the Tag Team Champions, versus Daniel Bryan and Cesaro for entry into the Elimination Chamber match. Again, this was a good match. It was breezy. It didn't feel like it wasn't like oh my god, moment after moment after moment, but at the same time, it was all good. It was all enjoyable. Some of the key moments, Bryan hits a suicide dive, aiming for Rude, but Rude sidesteps and hits Cesaro, and Corbin and Zayn come out as well before the break to get a closer look, shall we say. And Reigns is watching from his chair out in the back. Daniel Bryan was isolated for a good portion of this match, as you would expect. Cesaro gets the hot tag. He goes for the swing, but Rude takes out his knee. But Daniel Bryan hits the running knee on Rude. And after a little back and forth, Cesaro hits the torture rack backbreaker, the swing, the sharpshooter for the submission win once again. So Cesaro is really on fire at this moment in time. They're celebrating. Jay comes out, hits Cesaro with a chair. Zayn and Corbin get involved. They start brawling. Everyone's fighting each other at this point. And of course, what happens when there's a mass brawl, when there's someone who does stunners? Yes, Kevin Owens comes out and he stuns absolutely every single person. Says to Reigns, he's not done. He's still coming for him. He won't stop. And that's how we close the show. Like I said, it was a breezy episode of SmackDown. There wasn't any major stuff where you're like, oh my god, this happened, or this was so bad, or this was so good. However, it all just flowed. And that's what you want from a wrestling show. So it got my morning off to a good start. I hope you have a good day, and I will speak to you soon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I don't want to emphasize how important that is to me. Thank you. Good night.